Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Ultimate General Civil War, and today we are going to fight in the Battle of Perryville. We can bring 14 brigades onto the battlefield and our soldiers have organized as follows. Our 1st and 3rd Division is armed exclusively with the Springfield M1842, and within our 2nd Division we have Griffin armed with the Farmer, as well as Seymour and Darden armed with the Reboard Farmer musket. The brigade of Darden has not been reinforced as he is very close to receiving his 2nd star, and it would be very good if we can have another veteran unit before the Battle of Fredericksburg. We are also going to bring our shock and our skirmishing cavalry, as well as a battery of 6-pounder field guns and 2 batteries of 10-pounder ordnances. Both of our 10-pounder batteries are also very close to receiving their 1st star. And if you take a look at our armory, you can see that we have close to 600 farmers in reserve, as well as 191 reboard farmers, and we still have 1900 Springfield M1842 in stock. Our career point from the last battle was invested into medicine, allowing us to heal 12% of our casualties. According to the mission briefing, the rebels are going to deploy 15,800 soldiers and 60 artillery pieces, while we are going to attack with 25,800 soldiers and 54 guns. Deploy your troops around Widow Bottom's farm and wait for the advance order to Perryville. Rebels may attempt to attack us and you will not have reinforcements until tomorrow. Hold your ground at all costs. At the beginning I thought that we would be on the offense, but it looks like we are going to fight a defensive battle. This, of course, together with our overwhelming manpower, should be a relatively easy fight. At the moment, skirmishers are rushing ahead to scout out our positions, and our soldiers are ordered to deploy roughly in a circle around our objective area until we can find out where the enemy actually is. I want our skirmishing and our shock cavalry to stay behind to protect our artillery pieces. And we have some skirmishers over here that have now reached their target. Penrose Brigade is also coming up, and as soon as we have an eye on the enemy, our soldiers can deploy to the best of their abilities. Let's order our infantry to double time it for the moment so that we can reach our target faster. And our skirmishers can spread out a little more so that we can find the enemy a lot easier. Hunt and skirmishers, I want you over the river. The same goes with Griffin's men. And our artillery pieces are really struggling to get through the thick woods. I should have kept that in mind when I was deploying them. We have now officially captured Perryville, and so far we have not spotted our enemy. Let's get Griffin and Sherman's brigade into the woods. I also want Hunton down here. It doesn't look like the enemy is going to attack from the north or from the west at the moment, but a couple of their soldiers have already deployed. Okay, Hunt and skirmishers were successful in finding Palmer's and Adams' units. I want Garfield over here. Darden, you're going to be reserve at our objective. Kite, you're going to be positioned around here. Hoffman, I want you in this section. Our rear should more or less be secure. Let's get Seymour down. He might be able to outflank the enemy. The Griffin's boys, you're also going to get over here. And it looks like Kite skirmishers are going to get in contact with enemy skirmishers. Now, 10-pounders. I want one brigade. I want one battery to focus over here. The other has to focus down here. The 6-pounders, I want to focus in that direction. And it looks like we have to get Darden forward to plug this hole towards Cat. Hoffman is holding our rear. This seems to be a good decision, and these skirmishers can link up with our shock cavalry. Seymour, I want you to retreat further to our lines. Carroll, you can get into our center. Sherman, also hold up over here. And Penrose, I want you to focus down on Brown. We have a slight gap over here. Let's hope the rebels cannot exploit that. And I want our shock cavalry to rear into the rear of the enemy. We had spotted some artillery pieces over there, and if we are able to defeat those, this would be massive for us. Let's get those 10-pounders on the flank of Powell. Griffin skirmishers and Hunton skirmishers, do not get caught in a melee, please. And Hunton, if you're able to open up on the flank of Brown, yes, wonderful volley. These 10-pounders, I want them to open up on Stewart. These 6-pounders get ready to protect us down here. Enemy cavalry is on our wings, but we have skirmishers deployed in the area. And our shock cavalry is in the rear of the enemy. Powell is falling back. I think he sees the immediate danger his forces are under. Penrose, you do not need to run anymore, but you have to get closer to Adams. There is Palmer's artillery. Can we deliver a quick attack from our shock cavalry before they can wheel around? Over here, the enemy advance has completely stopped. And I want Seymour to get around here. We might be a little bit in danger over here, but we have Sherman as a reserve. And our shock cavalry unfortunately got flanked. Let's get our skirmishers forward to contest the position of Brown. There is Jones coming up. Griffin, you're going to push forward. There are our skirmishers falling back. There's Powell. Brown is still in the area. Sherman, abandon your attack. Try to get the flank of Brown. We are routing their artillery, but our cavalry is taking casualties. Griffin, try to get out of the water. Seymour needs to open up on Jones. Sherman, double time it to deliver fire support. Griffins fall back. And our skirmishing cavalry needs to deliver a volley on Powell. Griffins and Hunton skirmishers have taken massive casualties. Over here we can see Smith is coming up, but their attack over there has not come together. We need to try to get our skirmishers out there. And Seymour needs to make it out of the water so that Sherman can open fire. Everywhere else the position is somewhat holding. Brown is trying to get our shock cavalry. Can we get our skirmishers around? They have been spotted, but enemy positions are not focusing on them. Penrose, I want you to get over. And I want Hunton to shift to this position. And kite skirmishers, fall back, fall back, fall back. Brigadier General William Brooks is wounded. That is not so good. Hunton, get forward. Griffins, get forward. We are slowly getting through those artillery pieces, and it looks like the enemy is now trying to get towards our center. Penrose skirmishers are not ordered to hold. This is good. And if needed, I will call back Hoffman to protect our sides. Seymour is now over the river, and we are pushing up. And we have destroyed those artillery pieces. Let's get our skirmishing cavalry back for the moment. Our shock cavalry I want to get into the enemy rear. These 10-pounders I want to open up on many. 6-pounders I also want you to wheel around. These 10-pounders are opening up on the skirmishers, but better they should target Powell if somehow possible. Skirmishers also try to get on their flank, and these cavalrymen should try to snatch some enemy supplies. We have found Adams' brigade. And Garfield as well as Darden are opening up on the enemy skirmish line. We have Stewart coming up. Kite skirmishers, you can reattach. I want these 10-pounders to hold. I want these 6-pounders to hold. And we have captured enemy supplies. Let's get them back. Shock cavalry, move into the enemy rear. And down here we are now pushing up on the enemy lines. I think this situation is under control. Shermer and Griffin, you can be dispersed over our flanks. Hoffman, together you're going to abandon your position. These skirmishers are going to hold our rear. And we are going to get you around and we are going to get Garfield prepared. As soon as you're over there, we are going to descend down on the enemy flank. Penrose, move forward on those skirmishers. Seymour, you need to shift slightly, otherwise your flank would be exposed. Speaking of an exposed flank, we are going to get our skirmishers up on Powell. Either way, we are going to get Powell. Either he is opening his rear to Seymour or he is opening his rear to our skirmishing cavalry. And it looks like he is opening his rear to our skirmishers. Very nice. This should allow us to deal with him relatively easily. Nice volley. Supplies, please get out of the water and on dry land. Our shock cavalry is in the rear of the enemy. Can we find out where the enemy guns are? They should have more. Hunton, you're going to get on the flank of many. Over here our flanking attack got stopped by Hoffman. Let's get Garfield forward. Darden is dealing with those skirmishers. And I'm going to get Kite to stay, otherwise he might get flanked. There's Khan's artillery and Scott's artillery. Shock cavalry, try to get Scott, then retreat. And we have Powell driven away. Jones is still on the battlefield. Unfortunately. Shermer, I want you to cross. And cross on the double if possible. Over here, skirmishers are falling away. Garfield and Darden push forward. Kite, move forward. Penrose skirmishers, move forward. Hunter, you're also going to move up. Unfortunately, our shock cavalry is just getting closer to the enemy. As Scott is reloading and Khan's is also repositioning. Can we close the distance and get into melee? It looks like it. Maybe we are able to do a lot of damage before our soldiers getting destroyed. Hunton's men need to run away. Jones is coming up for the attack and they were flanked for a moment. Skirmishing cavalry get close to ground. Penrose open up on Adams. He is opening his flank and we need to punish that. Our shock cavalry is in contact. They seem to be holding. Let's get our boys on the wing of the enemy. Garfield, open up on Stewart's flank. This should be exposed. And over here we are in a little bit of trouble. Enemy cavalry has now decided to push on our sides. All of our 10-pounders open on the enemy. Do not shift around. 6-pounders, you're going to hold our rear. Our big problem at the moment is that the enemy is going to appear for a short while and then they're going to fall back again. Griffin, you're going to get behind our artillery to make sure that these positions are protected. Garfield is going to hold. 6-pounders, you're going to be prepared over here. Our shock cavalry is getting flanked. Hunton on the double. Try to help them. Stewart is about to fall back. Very good. Hunton skirmishers, you need to fall back as well. Skirmishing cavalry, get over here. And we need to get Griffins forward as the enemy cavalry under Wharton might be able to flank Seymour in the rear. Shermer, get forward. Penrose, get forward. Where is General Sherman? I want him over here. We were able to rout Scott's artillery. Now, Hunton, focus down on the flank of Donaldson. And we now have to work through the enemy defensive line in those woods. Can we get our skirmishing cavalry down? As well as Griffins and Hunton's skirmishers. There's Brown. Now boys, fall back. Seymour, get forward. We have the enemy cavalry over here. Polk is also in the area. I'm going to leave Griffin where he is. And unfortunately our shock cavalry has been routed. Scott's guns took some damage though. Over here the enemy is holding quite well. Hoffman is bleeding heavily. Darden is dishing out some damage, but he's also bleeding. And Donaldson is holding. We need our shock cavalry to regain their vigor. And I want them to, if possible, outflank the enemy guns. Hunted, move forward. And it looks like Darden has been repelled. That must have been a massive volley. He is down to 1,600 soldiers. Sherman, get forward. Skirmishing cavalry, get Jones. Darden took 400 casualties. I do not know from who. Last time I checked, his casualty count wasn't that big. Khan's artillery is currently distracted. They're trying to get our shock cavalry. And I am going to order an assault under Hoffman as soon as he has shot down on Smith. Now, charge! Together with the fire support from Garfield, this should be enough. Once more, we have to attack Jones. Everyone, focus on him. Penrose is bleeding, but he is still in the fight. Let's get our captured supplies over there. And we were able to drive away Smith. Now we have to rush forward on Stewart, and Donaldson is also running away. And it looks like Carnies is now shifting to get on Hunter. Everyone try to get on Scott. Hoffman, stop your advance. Fall back. You need to get into a better fighting position. Stewart is still on the field. Garfield, push forward. And Kite, you need to move on Stewart. There is many opening up on our shock cavalry, but they are about to close the distance. Scott is about to open up on Hunton though, meaning that we have to shift once more. Further on this side, the rebels are still holding. Jones is down to 900 soldiers, but he is now wavering. A good volley from our skirmishing cavalry should rout them. Or not. We still have Brown in the area, and Penrose is almost out of artillery. Scott is routing. So is our shock cavalry. Hunted, get on many. Penrose, skirmishers, you get over there. Kite, move forward. Darden, move forward. Garfield, move up over here. Hoffman, shift your position to this side. And Sherman, keep up with the boys. I want our 10-pounders to push up as well. Skirmishers, try to get on the flank of Jones. And I'm not going to attack the enemy cavalry in our rear. They are so far passive and not engaging, and therefore I want to keep it as that. Shock cavalry is taking more and more casualties. They're down to 420 soldiers. Kite, open up. Impressive volley, but not many casualties. Now keep up. Scott is at least wavering. Hunter, move forward as well to get on the flank of many. Shock cavalry is back. I want them to get these supplies so that they can, in the meantime, recover them around. Our skirmishing cavalry once more has to attack Jones. Hoffman is taking casualties. Garfield is taking casualties. We have taken over 10% losses. They are resisting our attacks quite effectively. Kite, open up on Scott. And there we have eyes on their supplies again. Can we get Penrose around to get on Carnes before it can become too much of a problem? Hoffman's morale is still looking quite well. I'm going to order another charge. The same goes with Garfield. Maybe this is going to be enough to break them once more. Scott is once more wavering. Smith is wavering. Hoffman's condition was too bad. He wasn't able to close the distance, but Garfield was able to reach Smith and rout him. Penrose guys, get onto Khans. Our shock heavy has almost captured enemy supplies. How is the situation in the east looking? Penrose has taken over 360 casualties and counting. Jones is still on the field. Our skirmishers were able to get away before Brown could finish them. Very good. These 10-pounders are now opening up, and Garfield needs to fall back. He has pursued the enemy deep into their rear, but he is now getting flanked and targeted by every enemy in the area. This is looking very bad. He is taking a lot of casualties. Penrose is able to occupy Khans. And now this fight is over. Unfortunately, as I thought we could push back the enemy further, but at least this limits our casualties. At the beginning of the day we had 22,300 infantry, 1,500 cavalrymen and 54 artillery pieces, and at the end of the day we suffered 2,600 infantry casualties and 442 cavalry casualties. The Confederates, led by Leonidas Polk, had 13,400 infantry, 640 cavalry and 60 artillery pieces. And at the end of the day we defeated 3,900 of their infantry and destroyed 30 guns. Also 216 of their soldiers capitulated. We have held the Perryville crossroads, and the best unit on the battlefield was Hunton with 711 kills, followed by Garfield with 554 and our shock cavalry with 553. Our losses are led by Hoffman, who suffered 478 casualties, followed by Penrose with 430 and Darden with 429. Within our officer corps, Brigadier General William Brooks was wounded and Colonel Brent Seymour got promoted to Brigadier General. Lieutenant Colonel Eugene Mygate also got promoted to Colonel. In this fight we were able to rescue 350 of our reborn farmers and 60 of our farmer muskets. And we also got our hands on 739 M1841 Mississippis, 7 6-pounder field guns and 55 Sharps Model 1855. Last but not least, we got our hands on a large amount of enemy supplies as well as one sawed-off shotgun. We have also been awarded with the Defense Superior Service Medal. We also got an additional career point and 5 reputation, as well as $100,000 and 6,300 fresh recruits, and the prisoners that we took got exchanged for 279 additional recruits. Our 4th Corps is going to need a couple reinforcements, and we have lost our divisional commander, but luckily we can report that Darden is now a 2-star unit. Also, Schirmer has gotten his first star, and the same goes for our 2 batteries of 10-pounder ordnances. All in all, this was a very successful battle, and we have a large amount of resources ready to prepare for the Battle of Fredericksburg. But this has to be it for now. I thank you all for watching, and until we meet again, I wish you all a great time.